So I'm pretty sure, as most of you are aware, transformations are no stranger to any work of fiction, especially that of shonen. Now, in many shonen series, we have seen transformations done a multitude of different ways, like all the way from like Super Saiyan transformations to the different gears of Luffy in One Piece. Even the zone transformations in One Piece, all the different Bankais in Bleach, and not even just limited to the big three, but you could go farther outside of that with the different Dragon Force forms in Fairy Tail, as well as even the demon form for Yusuke or Gon's awakened form. Basically, what I'm getting at here is that transformations are basically a staple, if you must, in the world of shonen, and Black Clover is most definitely no different. I did make a video in the past just saying which transformation I thought was the best out of the big three or light triad or whatever you refer to, Asta, Yuno, and Noel. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link for it in the video so you can see it. Now, one thing I want to establish before this I really get into it is that transformations and power-ups. Now, power-ups can be transformations, but they're not just limited to transformations. When I say transformation, I mean like someone's actual appearance changes. Like that is really the basis of a transformation. Power-ups can be Power-ups can take the form of transformations, but they also cannot be a transformation, such as the usage of Mana Zone would be considered a power-up, or using Mana Skin could be considered a power-up. The different ways you could use runes or Mana Method could be considered a power-up. Really, I'm looking for characters changing. Now, like I was just saying, with transformations being a change of appearance, I feel like there are a bunch of characters that have utilized transformations in Black Clover. I've kind of broken it down for three different categories of transformations. The first of which would be the transformations that borrow power. So this would include Asta or the Dark Triads using their devil power to get new transformations. This would also include Yuno and his Spirit Dive transformation. You could even include the Eye of the Midnight Sun using their third eye to open up and get. That's like very slight on the edge of transformation, but I feel like it still applies, as well as Ladros in his spirit Ladros form. Now, with the Dark Triad and Austin then borrowing power, this one is more akin to what we've seen typically in a shonen transformation, or I wouldn't say typically, but one of the more recognizable ones, such as a character recognizing a power inside of them and borrowing that and using it to further increase themselves. So with this kind of power up, they can definitely get significantly stronger than they were because they're stacking a outside power on top of their own. Same thing for Spirit Dive. Yuno's using the power of a spirit. He's taking it into, he's assimilating with it to be able to use that power for himself. The basis of this transformation in Black Clover is, like I just said, taking a power that is not your own and using it to further boost your own stats, making this like one of the much more effective forms of transformation, considering you can get significantly more powerful than you already were when basically stacking your own power with another thing's power. And with Spirit Ladros is kind of like a pseudo Spirit Dive in my opinion, just because he more or less assimilated with the remnants of mana from the Fire Spirit Salamander. And then the third eye, opening their third eye, this is kind of borrowing power, and it kind of falls into another category that I would go on to later on, but essentially them borrowing the power of forbidden magic to increase their own stats is more or less where I'm getting at with this one. Now, as for the second kind of category I have for a transformation in Black Clover would be the awakening power, which would be like awakening something that was already in you, not necessarily borrowing, but you already had these abilities, but just realizing them and getting stronger. This one is, along with the previous one, very, very similar to what other shonens do, such as with the Super Saiyan transformation. Saiyans just innately have that in them, so they're able to reach that form just because it's already inside of them. This is the same for characters like Charmy. Charmy is half dwarf, so the ability to go into her half dwarven form or adult Charmy form, whatever you want to call it, and access her second type of magic is just already inside of her. As well as you could even take it from the elves. The elves, having their awakening to their true power, like when the third eye Eye, and I guess all the other elves that got reincarnated awakened to their true power. You could throw this in that category as well. You could also throw the Third Eye that I was just talking about in this category too, if you really wanted to. The only reason I feel like it's more borrowing than it is awakening is because the Third Eye isn't necessarily natural to them. Like, yes, they always had the innate ability to use forbidden magic, but it's not like they were born with it. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm getting at with this one. Awakening, I feel like, is, granted, I would argue it's the most cliche type of power up across fiction, not even just shonen, but it's still the most effective because people have hidden potential inside of them, and this one is a really strong power up. I don't always necessarily think it's stronger than borrowing power, just because you're literally adding your power to something else. With awakening, realizing your true power is still really, really powerful. Another type of transformation that's kind of hard to place would be Lich's transformation into the demon god or devil god. Now this one is kind of weird because it kind of falls under the context of the Third Eye transformation, which would be like the power to do this was already inside of them, so you could see it as an awakening, but at the same time it's not really natural. But it's not like he borrowed it from anywhere. It's kind of just he used his own negative energy and negative mana to turn into this with the use of forbidden magic. So this one's kind of weird to place. The same thing I guess could apply for Dark Elf Patri, especially since now it seems more like a permanent thing, since he seems like half Dark Elf, half not Dark Elf, almost kind of like half fallen in Magi, like how Sinbad's like half fallen but not truly fallen. Kind of reminds me of that kind of thing. Honestly, it's all of the elf based transformations or transformations that have to deal with the elves that are kind of weird to place for the most part as far as transformations go in Black Clover. And then as for the third and most common type of power up in Black Clover would be like the enhancing / reinforcing yourself type power up. Now this power up at first glance seems to be the weakest out of the three, just because you're literally using the power that you already had. But I feel like this type of transformation in Black Clover is, I don't want to say the best, but is the most practical, because it, for most of the characters that we've seen with these types of abilities, it makes them able to use the power that they have more effectively. This would be characters like Luck, Mimosa, Noelle. These people are using the power that they already have inside of them to make themselves better. So like take with Luck, his Thunder Boots and his Thunder Gauntlets or Gloves, whatever you want to call them, they're basically just reinforcing his already decent physical stats. Like they're making him faster, giving him more attack potency, slash, kick harder, all that kind of stuff, as well as still being able to shoot magic from them. It's boosting his own physical capabilities to fight better. And you can even look at it from the not battle standpoint with Mimosa. She is using her flower dress to boost her healing capabilities exponentially. Of course, we already know that she can heal people, but the issue with Mimosa's Dream Healing Flower Cradle is that it's not really necessarily for life or death injuries. It just kind of heals you if you're mildly hurt, not majorly injured. And then with her Princess Flower Robe, this thing is for life or death scenarios. Like Fuegoleon was missing a arm and she was able to stabilize him. Like Noelle's chest was split open and she was able to heal her. So like this is for like the more intense injuries, as well as healing them extremely quickly. It takes her already innate ability to heal people and just jacks it up to the maximum because she's able to use it more effectively. And then like I was saying with Noelle, the Valkyrie dress enables her to use her huge mana pool more effectively and gives her a much better way to fight. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that it's not like base Noelle has crazy mobility or crazy durability feats or anything along those lines, but with Valkyrie dress it takes her mobility and cranks it to the maximum. It uses her insane amount of magic to give her a better way to fight. It doesn't necessarily make her flat out more powerful. Like these forms don't flat out make you more powerful like the other ones do, but like I was saying, its strength really lies in using the power that you already have and making it making it more suitable for you to use it in the way you need to use it. Because we can all, for say Luck or Noelle or anyone, we could definitely agree that without their forms, they would not be able to fight as effectively as they already can. These characters like Noelle already had tons of power, so this is just giving them a better way to use it, if that makes sense. Now, one important thing to note about transformations in Black Clover is I don't think all the characters need them. I don't think we need every single character to get a transformation. I don't think everyone's ultimate magic that they're going to learn should be a transformation, or I don't think every spirit user needs a spirit die. because like transformations, while they are cool, power-ups are just as important. The usage of mana zone and runes and whatever other magic techniques they want to introduce to us in the future are still really important and really powerful. Tons of characters like Julius, Marileona, Gaja, Yami, they're mad strong without a transformation. I don't think they need one in the future, but for the characters that do have them, I do think that they are cool. Let me know down below what characters you think should get transformations, or how you feel about transformations in Black Clover in general. So far for me, I kind of like how Black Clover does it. I mean, you could argue that a lot of people kind of have them, but at the same time, a lot of people don't really have them. So I kind of like how it balances out. And as for characters that I kind of want to see have a transformation, I'm kind of in the middle on that one. Part of me wants Leo to have a transformation, but then part of me doesn't want him to have a transformation. I am interested to see who you guys kind of think deserves one or should have one. Outside of that, make sure you guys like the video as well as sub to the channel. Even though we have hit 1,000 subs, the train does not stop here. I'm gonna keep saying it mad often because I want us to grow as big as possible. So with that, I have nothing else for you guys. Have a great day, and I will catch you in my next video.